All right, welcome to lesson 8.2. We're going to talk about similar shapes. The objective is that I can identify similar shapes using proportions. So let's talk about scale drawings, similar shapes, and what the heck that means. A scale drawing is a proportional two-dimensional drawing of an object. And remember, proportional just means that the ratio between the side lengths is the same. So if you have a big building that is, let me draw a building here. So here is my building. Let's say it has a door right here. And let's say that this building is 10 feet tall and 20 feet wide. If I were to make a scale drawing of that, I would copy the building. But maybe my drawing is, instead of 10 feet, it's 10 inches. Instead of 20 feet, it's 20 inches. So I'm keeping the ratio the same. I just changed my units here. We could also do a drawing of a building where instead of 10 feet, I'm doing 2 feet. So I'm doing 10 divided by 5 to get 2. To keep it proportional, if I divide 10 by 5, I have to do 20 divided by 5 to get 4 feet. So these are all proportional. They represent the same relationship between the width and the height of the building, just with different numbers. Now, similar shapes are shapes that are different sizes, for example, 2 by 4 versus 10 by 20, but have the same proportions. Let's look at some examples. So to identify similar shapes, you have to do a little bit of math here. Here I have two rectangles. This rectangle is 18 inches tall by 25 inches wide. This slightly smaller rectangle is 3 inches tall by 5 inches wide. What I want to know is if these are proportional. To do that, I need to label my sides. I'm going to make this my width, which means that this is the width of this one. And this will be my height, which is this is the height of the other one. So I got my height and I got my width. I've decided I want to put height on top and width on bottom. So now I'm going to compare ratios. What this is going to do is compare the height and the width of each one and see if they have the same ratio. We could also do height here and width here, and I'll show you that in the next example. So my height of the first one is 18. My height of the second one is 3. My height, or my width of the first one is 25, and it's important that you keep together. So this is shape 1, this is shape 2, here's shape number 1, shape number 2. Shape number 2's width is 5. Now what we're going to do is cross multiply. I'm going to multiply my opposite numbers. 25 times 3 is going to give me 75. And I'm going to do 5 times 18. Plug in my handy dandy calculator here. 5 times 18, 90. Notice, are these the same? No, so these are not similar shapes. They do not share the same ratio of height to width. They have different ratios. If these were equal, they would have the same ratio, then they would be similar. But if they don't have the same ratio, they're not similar. All right, let's look at another example. Here we have two triangles. We'll say this is the width, is 4 meters, and we'll say this is the length, 7 meters. So we have 4 to 7. Here we have the width is 12, and the length is 21. Let's see if these are similar. Now, earlier we looked at height on top, width on bottom. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to put, instead of doing one whole shape here, I'm going to do one whole shape across. So I'm going to go ahead and do the height of both shapes here, and the width of both shapes, and then the length of both shapes here. So I'm going to put shape number 1 on top and shape number 2 on bottom. The width of number 1 is 4. The width of number 2 is 12. The length of number 1 is 7. The length of number 2 is 21. Now we're going to cross multiply. 12 times 7. 12 times 7. 84. We're also going to multiply 4 times 21. 4 times 21. Excuse me. 4 times 21. There we go. 84. Are these the same? Yes. So these are similar shapes. They share the same ratio. So if you get the same number here, they're similar. If you get different numbers here, they're not similar. All right, you are going to go ahead and dive into your practice. Let me know if you have questions.